Good evening. Wow, it's a pleasure to be with you another evening to talk about the things that matters most to us. I we get news that the Jamaica government um, is planning to import teachers. That sort of caught many of us by surprise that the government is going to import teachers. Here to talk to us about it though is former JTA president who have a whole different perspective on what's going on and just share his general views with us um, about the government intention and how it would negatively impact us as Jamaican and our culture. He's running a little bit late, but he will be here with us. Um, we also have updates on the school supply, the 1,000 backpack drive that we're doing, which will be it's going well so far. It's just that we're not getting much support from the Jamaican at large. We're not getting much support. They're not doing what they're supposed to do. But before we go in at anything, I just want you guys to like and share and subscribe to Sutherland TV. But yes, it is indeed a sad situation that we get to the point where we have to import teachers. I think that will negatively impact our culture, and I don't know what direction that would have taken our students. Um, Not only that, you know how would they treated versus the local teachers that is there in on the island. I'm just wondering. I'm thinking that the government should do something to prevent teachers from running away. Teachers and police officers and all those people of importance to our country, the way they've been mistreated and what caused them to really want to migrate and care their professional teaching, because many of our teachers, or all of our teachers, are professionally trained. They are trained in the capacity of teaching. Um, it overseas in here in America, actually. Let me speak for that. I can't say generally, but here in America, most teachers are not trained with they don't have like I don't know if I like a teachers college an institution that is designated. I'm pretty sure it exists, but it is not so much of a need like Jamaica make it, So you find that our teachers that was trained in that capacity of teaching are leaving to come to the United States and go to Canada and all over to teach, while we running short of teachers. It is indeed a sad situation, but we're gonna be trying by the watch your man, no man, watch your man, no man. Right,
Oh, no, no.
uh,
How you do? How you do?
we're there. Hey,
The
I was
night,
just, eh?
have you started? Are we up?
Yeah, man, we up
All
live
right.
and
So since we are up, what you saying now to me? What you saying something good?
well, the truth is, I was talking before you get on about the crisis that we're facing in the country, where they intend to import teachers, which is a sad thing. I was also talking about the backpack drive, which is how the support is very weak on the Jamaican side of things.
Yeah.
It's just like close friends that is making donation, and how they even refuse to even contribute by sharing this the initiative. You know what I'm saying? It's just
Yeah,
it take a whole lot to even share it when you look 2 or 3 persons share it. But yet still them I reach out and I say, boy, great job, congratulations, and how they support, and some of them even call I tell them, say, yo, send me the link for this, send me the link for this. And it's up on the screen right there, so why
yeah.
you
The
don't
link. So the link is there, and the
everything is
telephone,
there.
the
Everything is there.
Zelle, the telephone number is for the Zelle.
Eh?
Am I right?
And, and you can
Is it
go and get
the
yeah,
Zelle
the
number?
telephone number for
Right.
this.
The Zelle number is right there as well, running across the screen for those people who are discerning of it. It's right there. I am supporting this project because I would love to see our kids be put in a position where they can return to school and feel, that kind of self-worth while going back to school. They have their belongings. Nothing to a child like when that child has his own belongings, his own personal things,
Let me
stationary
tell
and otherwise, going back
I
to school.
I get a number for your teacher the other day down in St. Elizabeth, and I call her. I'm gonna tell her, I say, the back drive not going as how we want it to. But if he, even 20 bags, I'm going to drop off to her to give the kids and school supply. And let me tell you something. It was about 6:30 a.m. I called her because I was gonna be busy the day. And let me tell you something. When you hear the lady screaming, say, man, when you hear the
Yeah.
principal, the excitement that the principal brought forward to me, I'm like, wow. She said, and he said, let me tell you something. He said, let me tell you something. This is a greater need than anybody can ever imagine,
Yeah.
especially in those
Yeah.
areas, the rural part of the island.
Remind me of a deadline. When is it that
All
the,
right.
the people who still want to contribute can continue to contribute until
Uh,
when?
well, me going to have to take, when me look on it, me realize that, boy, me going to have to get off these things by the very first week of next month.
Of
Because,
August.
shift it of August.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
the deadline to contribute, really, it would have been up to like the first week of the month. And I say
Yeah.
contribute, not only just the school supplies, but we're going to have to find money for ship here. Me put $800 in it already, of from
Right.
my pocket, And we're
Mhm.
going to have to ship off these things. Watch my sister, no man, blessings clear.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to ship off these things. We have to receive them and all of that. So we don't want to run into this first week of September because the kids them need to know when them there. You understand?
Exactly.
So by
I
at
mean,
least the last week of September. And remember,
kids.
tell you something. You see that girl that we just show up on Facebook, um, Clear Balai. Let me tell you something. She's here from Chicago, and I fear I just may have. I know she not receive nothing. I know she not receive nothing. I fear I just she offer up her thing. But you see, she is the only business person, the only business person in Illinois that I guarantee will support the move. Or well, she tell me already. She is the rest of the people them just are going lame brethren. But I reach out to me and I tell me, say, boy, you're going good, you're going good. Brethren, send me $10 at
And
least.
and we can go on good if we not have, as Edward Siaga said, it takes cash to care.
You
We
understand?
care, but at the same time, we have to have some backup in
Yeah,
terms
man,
of
I can't
the
manage a compliment
financial
right now.
support. Mhm.
Can't manage a compliment right now. More some money,
Yeah.
Kim. More some money for help with this thing. I mean, I have to ship off the thing them. You understand? Me basically don't have no money right now. All like me have over 200 bucks still. You understand? Me
Mhm.
have over 200, but me have $800 in the thing. You understand? You're talking
Yeah.
about shipping not come yet, barrel not buy yet. Nothing like that not go on.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
it's it's yeah. It's
It,
it's heartbreaking because people tend to talk a lot. It's a lot of lip service we pay all the time. But when it comes to the actual action, we
yeah.
stall. But I'm still optimistic that even last minute, Jamaicans are generally last minute people. So I'm still optimistic that during the course of this week into the weekend, we are still inviting contributions, and we are still inviting contribution in terms of cash or kind, in terms of the bags.
Yes,
And
man.
this is something that is well needed in Jamaica, and especially in those parts of Jamaica where burial did serious damage. In fact, there are people. I spoke with a teacher down there in St. Elizabeth in Junction, the Junction area, and she said that until this point they haven't gotten back electricity, and the promise that they get is that they will get it back maybe the first week of August, which means 2 weeks time. And you know, that paints a grim picture, because
Man.
not many people can really exist. People with the young, with babies, you know, mosquitoes biting up the babies,
Oh
that kind of
God.
thing.
Oh God.
Yeah,
Oh God.
it's dire, and if they have to be spending extra, parents have to be spending extra to make sure they can buy things like candles, and candles are very expensive, and in fact the candles are expensive, but they are making them smaller. I
Yeah.
noticed that, and
You're gonna have to
to,
buy more to get
you,
like.
so you have to buy more, and these are the little things we want to put forward. People have to be paying now, more so now than ever, for
And
even
then look,
water, because
and
for
those
water, for
years they're
water.
losing crop. Then years then losing farm crop.
Yes, yes.
All
So
the stuff gone.
we are here appealing to the general public, but our Jamaican brothers and sisters, especially those in the diaspora, who can contribute. And I am here appealing to especially those in the diaspora. Could be teachers who are here on contract, in the American contract. From anywhere around the world. You can Zelle, you can send whatever it is that you can send. We are still optimistic. We are not closing the gate, because we're still expecting that some contributions will come in, so that we can make this a big project, right? So
Can you imagine? Can you imagine getting the stuff I'm not able to ship them because me put the money in it already. We're in that take away from anything, any farmer shipping and everything. That I'll put more strain on the thing. So I don't know. It's just sad all around. But
yeah,
I'm just
but
hoping,
yeah,
optimistic like you said last minute
we're
something gonna
praying.
happen.
We're praying, because we know Jamaicans are last minute. We really don't want to have this kind of situation, but we know they are last minute people, and you know,
Right.
many of them are busy doing their regular jobs and other jobs. So we are still hopeful that they will find a little bit of time to just press two buttons, maybe on the phone or whatever, to send off the contribution, or just to go to the post office, get the bag, go to the post office and post it off to the address. All right.
Yeah,
So
you know, those speed. I'm gonna use this opportunity to say to you personally that I really thank you for jumping on board with me and support the initiative. I remember when I called you, I know how excited you were about the whole idea, and this level of support is where is what I really need. The truth is I the excitement that you had displayed are dispersed when I call you. Nobody else. I'd never really feel this way about it. I mean, on Facebook, our YouTube, you hear people, you know, comment me and what we're doing. But the excitement where you give me not get that from nobody else. And I wish some people that they come on and enthuse and have the drive like what you have. Me really appreciate the energy, Bridget. But
one thing is sure is that they have seen it, because I've circulated it. I've done a whole lot. I've spent a whole lot of time, hours,
Mhm.
circulating, sharing, posting, reposting, putting it on my status, WhatsApp, all the other groups. So all of my friends would have seen it, and you know, I am still expecting them to help in this regard. You know,
Yeah,
but
they're really
but
poor. But me want
yeah.
to ask you a question because with upon the school thing, someone want stay upon the school thing. I've listened to your program several times where you talk about, you have some insight and some background and some intimate information as it relates to the school and the whole teaching, let me say, that whole institution back in Jamaica. And you had played a great role. You were the president of the JTA for quite some time. And so you would have some intimate information. Now, let me ask you the question, and I think you are one of the more appropriate person to ask the question that I'm about to ask because of your involvement. The Jamaica government is talking about importing teachers to Jamaica. What is your take on
that. Why? It's funny. We know that the first world countries can afford to import teachers. So that's one.
Mm-hmm.
Two is that the countries from which Jamaica will be planning to import teachers, some of those same countries are targeted by the US and by the UK. So, as it stands, Jamaica is paying its teachers maybe about maybe a little over $1,000 per month.
Mm-hmm.
In America, when they recruit these teachers from elsewhere and they come to America, they are paying these same people who the Jamaican government would be trying to entice, to induce. They are paying in America maybe $4,000 or $5,000.
Mm-hmm.
So that's so we can talk these things, but I don't know how practical or how sustainable it will be. So that's
Are
true.
you implying that let me cut you right there? Are you implying that they will be competing with the American market for teachers?
Exactly, because mention was made of Ghana and mention was made of the Philippines. Now, I have, since I'm in America, I've come across, I've worked alongside with people from these countries, from African nations coming into America. And so the competition is going to be there. They can't escape that competition. And when you look at the other side of things now, look at the other side of the coin now, where the Jamaican teachers who are there toiling, who are there can't even find money to pay the toll. I can tell you because the toll from Portmore to go to Portmore and back to Kingston, that's about like $300, like about $700
daily,
$720 per day. So if you do the calculations, you're going to find that 700 per day is 3,500 per week, and that's 12,000, 13,000, whatever it is per month. You don't start to put gas in your vehicle yet. But at the same time, they are paying these teachers plus the other expenses, because some of them rent houses and so on. They live in rented house, so $40,000, $50,000 per month, and they are barely getting 100, just a little over 100,000 to take home. Some of them don't take home 100,000. Many of them don't take home 100,000 because they have other expenses, other deductions. So if you are going to carry in these people competing with the mighty US and the UK to take these people in to Jamaica,
what offer they're going to
what are they going to offer? So that's my next question to the minister. But fundamentally though, Dennis, and to the listeners and the viewers, fundamentally, I am a very discerning person, and I realize I picked up that this announcement that I'm seeing going around the place that we are going to for the new academic year, we are going to be recruiting foreign teachers. That announcement came from the acting chief education officer. Notice I say acting, but not the minister.
Okay.
So I don't know if it is a little three-card game that they are playing, where the minister allows this other person, maybe give permission to the next person while she hides under the stone like a crayfish, pulling back. And then maybe if the backlash is too heavy, she might just come out now in another week or 2 or 3 and say, well, it's a misunderstanding. We did not say that, and that came out in the public. I don't know. I'm just putting it out there. But for what it is, if it is you are going to pay to compete against the US, you are going to pay them twice what you are paying the local teachers, the Jamaican teachers. No, that in itself is going to
probably housing too, right?
I hear that. I hear, by the way, housing and airfare and emergency fund that to, so that if they want to, if there's an emergency back at their home, they can get back quickly and all these things. I'm hearing these things. I don't know if it's true, but I'm just hearing these things as we go along. And so to me, it would seem as if there is the Ministry of Education is rudderless. It lacks that kind of central point where information comes from. And for me, that is untenable. But to say the least, it's untenable. But we hear it, and I'm repeating this, that we hear it from the her name is, I think, Terry, and can't remember her name now. Thomas. The article is there.
Good evening, guys. Nice to have you. Hope you like share. Because we had spoke about the back drive that we have going. Shariel, blessings. Petra, blessings. Please share. Please share. But we are talking about the Jamaica government. Members from the Jamaican government body. I'm gonna say it that way. Talk about importing teachers. While our teachers migrate to the US, they are willing to compete with the US for teachers in other parts of the world to import teachers to Jamaica. Mr. Speed is a former JTA president who is giving us his feedback, his information, how he feel about it. And not only that, he's gonna also, I'm asking the question, and the negative or positive impact that this may have on our culture, because that's a critical piece, you know. That's a critical piece.
It transcends so many facets of the education system in Jamaica. But I want people to understand that I am working in America for 3 years plus, yeah. And I've seen for myself that some of these same countries that Jamaica is now saying that they are going to recruit from, the mighty America is also recruiting from those same countries. So we'll have that competition on hand. Are those people going to prefer going to Jamaica and get 1,000 US, or they are going to prefer to go to America and get 4,000 or 5,000 or 6,000 or whatever the amount might be US? You see, so they can talk these things and it will sound good, and people might say, "Oh, we feel a little sense of relief." But Dennis, I want to touch something else.
Go ahead.
I want to touch something else. Noticeably, Terry and Thomas Gale. Terry, I think it's Terry and is the first name. Thomas Gale. She's the acting chief education officer. She was allowed to go on a public forum and speak about this thing. Normally, you have your information minister or your minister responsible for the portfolio, who has a portfolio responsibility for that ministry, would speak on a policy matter. So for me, that is telling you that everything is not healthy in the Ministry of Education. But I want to touch some other things. There was a Nigerian, I think he was a Nigerian. He was asked to invigilate an exam. And I want us to have a little light moment sometimes on these programs. He was asked to invigilate and give instructions at an exam. And he said, Dennis, he said, if the answer is A, put A. And if the answer is B, put B. And if the answer is C, put. And the boys around here had a field day. Because when he said put, they finish it. Him say if the answer is A, put A. Because you know they have that little accent.
Yeah.
And if the answer is B, put B. If the answer is C, put. And the boys, it took a long, and then he went on further to say, and you must remember to focus. Focus. Always remember to focus. And the entire, they had to pause, the exam couldn't start. Because no matter how trying to get back the kids to come back, and they had to send for the administrator people to come to the room, the exam room, to get the exam started. But so I'm just saying these things to let you know that there is going to also be, if for those few who might come to Jamaica, you know, decide to bypass America and the Big Apple and the whatever we call it and so on, and come to Jamaica, you're going to have a language barrier, serious language barrier.
Yeah, but let me ask you. Let me read something that Petra said. Petra said, "Pay the Jamaican graduate, and in the meantime, and give them loan
me coming to that
education." Why you get to that? Go on.
Me coming to solution, because me not just stop. Listen, that is why some of them could not handle me, you know, when I was president at JTA. Because when I speak and I identify the problems, I put solutions there. And sometimes when I put solutions there, it shows them up and they don't like that. So let me go to that and say and talk to you a little bit about the language barrier. It's going to be a serious challenge. At one stage, we carried in some teachers to teach Spanish a few years ago. Not very long, but a few years ago. And the children could not understand one word that they were trying to say. We have, our culture is going to be affected. The cultural difference between us and these people coming in from some of those countries going to be stark difference between them. Yeah, so these are going to be some of the issues. The children who might have misconceptions while the teacher is doing a lesson, they're having misconceptions when they are trying to explain to these teachers who they might bring in from foreign countries. Those teachers not going to even understand what they're saying to them. Right. And vice versa. You want to say something, Charmaine? Dr. Charmaine, welcome. Good to see you. I see you like you have your hand up. Or it's a picture.
She froze. She lifted her hand.
Oh, okay.
And then she froze.
All right. So welcome. But I'm saying all of this to say that there are solutions, and we're talking about low-hanging fruits that you could easily pick. Dennis, in Jamaica, we have thousands of youngsters leaving university, graduating. I'm happy that I came to America to work, because I get to understand even in more depths now how different systems work. So people are cursing.
I know if it's really necessary. Sorry to cut you. If it's necessary to have a teacher trained like how we have it.
Let me go to this. Let me go in there now. We're going right here. In America, they don't necessarily tell you that for you to be in a public school as a teacher, that you have to go to a teacher training university. They don't do that. So you have a first degree, and that qualifies you, and then they give you support to see if they can get you up to speed, so as to how to perform within the classroom setting and so on. Right. Jamaica has many students who graduated from universities who are unemployed. many of them cannot start to repay their student loan or other loans that they take from other institutions. The student loan bureau is on their backs to get them to start paying back the money, but guess what? They don't have any job. The Ministry of Education is headstrong about who should teach and what is the basic qualification they should have for them to teach. And they are saying that the basic qualification is a degree, a first degree. In fact, recently they wanted to kick out the people who have a diploma in teaching out of the system. Recently, like just a few years ago, maybe 2 or so years ago, they were coming on rigidly, strongly at those teachers who have only a diploma in teaching in Jamaica. And like they were almost saying that will be phased out, you know. And since the mass migration, then now they realize that they can't phase them out because they're going to need them. A teacher who has, so we have low hanging fruits. A teacher who has a teacher's diploma, don't have a first degree yet. A teacher who has a teacher's diploma, all they need to do is to fast track that teacher, get the certification maybe on weekends, close school half day and let them go and do crash courses, methodology, whatever the courses, foundation courses that they need, and certify them up to degree level. Because if you're teaching if you have a teacher's diploma and you're teaching for 10 years and 15 and 20 years, there must be something in terms of the experience that you put a weighting on.
Mm-hmm.
So get them fast tracked and get them qualified. The people who leave a bright boy in physics, for instance, at a university, but when he graduate from university, he can't get any job. Why you should bar a youngster like that if he want to come into teaching? Give him the job, make him go teach physics, but you enhance his skills by doing short courses in the foundation teaching courses, for instance, methodologies. Methodology. So weekend time, you let him come in and do him thing, and you certify him.
Right.
That is my solution to this problem now, because we have thousands and thousands of youngsters over the past 5-10 years who are graduating, leaving university, and they're not employed. But the Ministry of Education is hard, headstrong, hard and fast. Oh, we have to graduate and so. Recently though, when their backs were against the wall, they went into college to say they're going to use fourth-year students to teach. I don't agree with that. The students who are at college must focus on their college work. The ones who graduate, because they can't do both. They can't come teach and prepare lesson plans adequately while they are doing their studies. So somebody is going to be shortchanged.
Right.
Whether it's the kids or them. So I am saying the people who graduate from universities, use some of those people. Give them a job in the school system because you're short. Do something to entice them to want to come in. So if people know that they can get land, for instance, that land will be cut up for teachers. And in particular, after you do certain number of years and so on, that's a motivating factor, because many people migrate, many of these teachers who migrate, they migrate because they're working for some years and they see that it doesn't seem like there's going to be a way that they can afford to buy a piece of land or a house or something.
Let me ask you, and this would be fair to the listeners and everybody, because I know it might be on their mind, and that's what I do. You, as a trained teacher, love Jamaica as much as you claim. And I've seen it and I believe you. Why did you migrate from Jamaica to teach here in the US?
Owen Speed. I don't like to get personal because everybody's situation is different.
Okay.
I did not have to leave. But when I look at my son, my two sons, one was in university, one was a teenager at the time. And I look at them and I say, well, this one has to finish in university thing. He didn't come up, he stayed. And he went to Caribbean Maritime and he completed his 4 years, because he started out, he was like in about a year and a half or so in it already. and I allowed him to finish there. But when I look at the amount of money that it was going to take to finance his studies, and when I look at my son who was a teenager, and I thought of the opportunities that he could have in the US, that motivated me to come. Because I've done
a financial decision.
No, because I had done, prior to that, I had done like almost everything that I could do in the education sector in Jamaica. I was a teacher for 18 years. After that, I was principal for 15 years. I watched the system and I know the ills in the system in Jamaica. I wanted to see another version as well. And I am happy that I came, because I am learning now that maybe about 70%, and I don't hold me to it, but maybe about as high as 70% of who are in the public schools in America teaching. And we're not talking about the people who they might recruit from foreign countries, but the Americans who are in there teaching, maybe about 70–80% of them didn't even attend that teacher training institution. But they have a first degree. And the flexibility, because the need is there, it's better to, and then let's be frank about it, it's better to have a body in a classroom than have nothing at all, nobody in there at all.
Right.
Even if the person is not 100% up to mark as a teacher, but is willing to learn on the job. Because education is about learning. A teacher learns with the students learn with the teachers.
In Jamaica, we have like teachers college and stuff like that, where they would have trained the teacher, obviously, and then they would send them out. We call them student teacher for like on the job training, job experience sort of thing. Do you think you're not saying that process is not necessary though?
No, not at all. I'm saying that you continue to train and you have to ramp up the training too, because if you're losing your teachers, that's another way, that's another solution, you know.
So you're just talking alternatives.
Yes,
you have to, because of the crisis.
Yes, you have to ramp up teacher training, but based on our system, that's not going to be short term. So you're going to still try to see how you can entice people to come into training. But the truth is then is that you don't entice people to come into any kind of service, any kind of career, when you're not treating those who are in there already fairly. Right now, there is teachers pay, for example, teachers pay. And everybody in Jamaica, if you're a PAYE, you pay education tax.
Right.
But there's nobody who can ever tell me what we use the education tax to do. There's nobody who can tell me that this is what we use. There's not a month in the year that even teachers get a tax break from paying education tax, you know. So
you're saying the question is, who benefit from this education tax? What is it for, and where it's going?
There is no transparency where that is concerned. You don't know. You don't know if it is used for.
But you don't know what we're paying education tax for.
It does. There's never a time when they have come out and said, okay, out of our revenue that we collected from education tax, this is what we use it to do. That there has never been a time like that in Jamaica. Never. And as far as I am concerned, maybe teachers should maybe be exempt from paying education tax. And maybe teachers, people like teachers who are they contribute to developing all other professions. Maybe teachers should even have a month of the year or two where they are exempt from your income tax, if you ask me. Maybe back to school time, because you have teachers who go and shop for back to school, you know.
Right.
To make sure that when the kids come in, they see something looking like a classroom. Teachers take it out of their own pockets and go and shop for back to school, you know. A month like that in August, maybe the government of Jamaica should think seriously about giving teachers a tax break during that time. Seriously.
All right. Let me ask you this question as I speak. You spoke about what you think the government should do given the crisis that they're in. But tell me what the government can do to prevent getting in that crisis, in the crisis that they're.
All right. So that's a fair question. 2019, I was president of the JTA. We had a meeting, we had a sit down with in 2020, just because it's 2019 to 2020, I was president. We had a meeting with Dr. Clark and his team. The JTA and its team went to have the meeting with Dr. Clark to discuss benefits and so on. We outlined to him all the things that we believe would help to hold our best, our most experienced teachers, our best teachers, because when the recruiters are recruiting, you know, they take the best first.
Right.
From Jamaica. You understand?
Right.
So because there are times when people apply and they don't get through it. So I want us to know, I want us to put that into perspective, that they take the best first. Well, whatever they consider to be the best, right? So let me put it that way, so that I don't offend anybody. And one of the things with that, I said to Dr. Clark, because he was there lecturing and carrying on and lecturing in his own style. That's his style. His style is to come to a meeting and he talks and he listens to himself and nobody else, right? And I stopped him halfway and I said, Doctor, Mr. Minister, I didn't say doctor, I said, Mr. Minister, we came to this meeting to have a discussion. We didn't come for a lecture. I said that to him. And I said to him, what are some of the things, I asked him the question, what are some of the things you're putting in place based on our claim? Because we had something like a 60-odd point claim that we put in front of the ministry's team and said to them, some of these things will help to keep our teachers here. Right. Land was in it. Yes. Land was in it. Their children's education was in it. I can remember these things. The NHT benefit, some of those things were in there. Yeah. And we said to them, these are some of the things that will assist. And I'm talking about a 60 point or something like that claim. Can't remember the exact number now, so don't hold me to that. But we put in that claim to them, and it's like he pushed that aside for months and didn't respond to it for months. And then he called this meeting, and when we came to the meeting, he was there lecturing away. And I stopped him because we, as at the JTA, and people say all sorts of things about the JTA now, but you see the JTA, it's a very well-structured organization, and it is the most powerful association in the Western Hemisphere. It's perhaps the most powerful union in the Western Hemisphere. And we sat, our committees sat, everybody forwarded the things that they thought. We went through the list, we take out some of them, we put in some other stuff, and we spent a long time going back and forth internally at the JTA before we put the claim to them. And the teachers submitted all the things that they thought would help to keep the teachers in Jamaica. And I said it to them 2019, and I said it again 2020. I said to them 2019, if you don't take heed and start to treat these teachers in Jamaica well, we are going to end up having to recruit teachers. I said that to them 2019, and they just brushed it off. Wow. And they carried on with a whole lot of 3-card deals and something, and sweetheart deals with the head of the JTA person who went out to do this Zoom meeting, illegal Zoom meeting, and came to an agreement with the government. And that helped to push more teachers out of Jamaica since the last agreement that they made. because
Wow.
because one, the central executive, and people need to know this, that the JT is organized something similar to government, but it's even broader than how government structure is organized. The association is organized like that across the nation. And when you
Right.
call a Zoom meeting, Dennis, because the minister is forcing you at the JT, and you call a Zoom meeting, what you do essentially is rule out many of those people who don't have internet connectivity.
Right. Right.
So,
Right.
the council, as I understand it, voted before that not to have another Zoom meeting to decide whether to accept or reject the offer. But the head or whoever it is went ahead and called a Zoom meetings regardless. Some of these things help to get the teachers. Teachers were there and they resistant. So they decided to use their power. And their power is to decide whether or not they stay or they leave. And many of them chose to leave. But you know what is the fundamental thing? The Minister of Education was hiding this truth from the nation. Every year for a back to school speech, it was like it was regurgitated. It was planned that she was going to come and say everything is okay.
Oh, so the migration was hidden for a while. Let me just say hi to Catherine Daly. Blessings and thank you for stopping by. She says she's at work. Catherine, bless her. Just remember to share. Remember to share. Important. Yeah.
While I'm talking like this, though, guys, I would love us to remember that we're doing this backpack drive, and we'd love to impact the lives of some kids particularly in St. Elizabeth, in Clarendon, and Manchester, where the hurricane did some serious damage and caused dislocation, both in terms of financial security for those people and otherwise. So I'm just reminding, and the numbers are running across the screen as we speak, right as you can look at it, and the place that you can drop off your bag and so on is right there. You can mail it.
Information.
All information is running across the screen. So I'm begging people, I'm asking, I'm beseeching on behalf of the poor children who are innocent people. And this is not a political platform, it's not a political thing we're doing. We just want to know that we are touching the lives of some youngsters in Jamaica. So I'm appealing for some assistance in this regard. Just spend some time and help us to get some more backpacks so that we can impact some more lives out there.
Amen.
But Dennis, it is, some of the things are low-hanging fruits. Low-hanging fruits that the minister could have picked during the time of negotiation and made the situation a lot better. Many of the teachers don't necessarily want to leave Jamaica to come battle with the cold in America.
Right.
They don't really want to do that. But when they work for a certain number of years and when they look around them and they see that every time they put down a little saving at the JTA Cooperative Credit Union, down there full every day, them going back to draw it back out or to take a loan back from the institution, the organization. Right. That is what was reaching people. They were living less than even hand to mouth. So the people decided that, boy, it's better we go try. They don't even know what them going into, you know, because it's not a bed of roses in America either, you know. And I want people to know that it's not a bed of roses. You have to work, you have to do the job. And if they see you sit down, if they see you sit down when you come to America and you work and they ever see you sit down around your desk or your table, them not pleased, you know, they might not say it immediately, but they're not pleased.
Right.
It is even for a minute you sit. So you have to like be prepared to do the work, but people are prepared to do it because they believe at the end of it, they can collect some money, and when they convert it to Jamaican dollars, if they may have a half a house down there, they can do little work on it and finish it. That's what they feel. It might not happen for everybody, but that's what they see.
Right.
So right now, if we are not to have further brain drain, we need to look at inviting some of these people who have left universities and not working, unemployed, and have something like some job fairs. Have host serious job fairs and let some of these people come in. Put on job fair. They have auditorium all about. I don't know the keynote center. Them have one little auditorium. Put on your little job fair here and there. Every region they have a regional director, regional office in every region. 6 or 7 of them now. Put on your job fairs there and invite some of these people who are graduating from universities. And then you organize crash program. I don't want to say crash because people might have a bad taste when where that is concerned. But put on some courses that have to do with things like methodology, psychology of learning, teaching and learning, and put on some of these things so that you enhance the skills of these people who are not teacher trained per se, but as ongoing training. And as a matter of fact, everybody should be doing refresher courses. But those who you know did not attend teachers' colleges, get them, fast track them, let them start teaching, and then they learn on the job, and you maybe close school for half day, some of the days, or whatever, and ask them to come to this place, and you put them there, and you teach them in terms of methodologies and the basic foundation courses that teachers do. Simple.
Right.
And that will help you in the short run. I am not saying it's going to be sustainable, because after they do that and you give them a job, maybe after a year and this man finds his dream job, he's going to leave. But at the same time, if they can get this opportunity and they get the chance to start paying back their student loan so that they're not breathing down their necks and they don't have any job, I think even a little would be better than nothing for some of these guys. And it's thousands of them we have in Jamaica who are leaving universities and cannot find adequate jobs.
So we could utilize them in the classroom.
Yes. But just like what US is doing that, and their literacy rate is not below Jamaica's.
Right.
So we talk about data.
Hold on, my brother, before you get to that. Petra is saying my daughter is doing a school supply drive out to Toronto. Check out the Camille project. Yeah, man, blessings, and we commend her for doing what she is doing. You know, we support anybody. We support.
Tell her to send 5 of her bags come to us.
But she that's what we send 5 of we to her too. So we're going to check out her information, and I will support our project. I will support our project.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. But yeah.
But what she said, but that would be encourage others to that would encourage others to enter the school field. Yeah, that would encourage others to enter the school field. I would think so too. Yeah.
Exactly. And some of them might just decide, some of them might come in and just decide that they would stay there. And first don't know.
Because one of the common thing that I find with even teachers here, one of the common thing that I find with teachers here, blessing Kwesi, is that a lot of them will tell you teaching was never their plan.
Exactly.
Teaching was never their plan, you know.
Well,
but it was what was available at the time. And when you talk to them, they spend 30, 50 years in the classroom.
And you see, Dennis, one of the things that we need to know is that a guy who is a youngster who is brilliant in math, coming out of high school and then into university, and he's brilliant with math, all he needs is a methodology, the method of imparting that. And once you strengthen him with that, you support him with that, you never know, because he might just find himself opening up an evening institute or something else that he can go after school or on weekends to earn himself more money than he could imagine.
Right. So it's a very important approach because it could change the mindset of many, and the country would benefit tremendously from going that route. That's what you're saying.
Yes, and so you don't need to go say you are going to pay anybody's plane fare to come down, because if the local teachers start seeing you doing that, remember America is a first world country. So when you are now as a third world country or fourth world or fifth world country.
Well, I know I'm cut you, but this is very important. Petra said it is not every Jamaican want to go on board. Just give them a chance to earn a wage. Yeah. So I
know.
like that.
Yes, and I am saying again to you now, Dennis, Jamaica is a third or fourth world or fifth world country. I'm not sure. Second world, whatever. One thing I'm sure of, it's below America in terms of what the amount of resources that they can put together. Yeah?
By far.
And thousands of us come to America to be engaged in this teaching program. And I have never heard or seen the American states pay anybody's plane fare. When I was leaving Jamaica, I had to pay my plane fare for all three of us coming. And so if America cannot sustain that, how is Jamaica going to sustain something like paying plane fare and giving emergency fund for them that they can run back home if there's an emergency back home in the Philippines or in Ghana or whichever country, because some countries were listed. How can Jamaica sustain that?
Okay, so and if they can, why haven't they compensated the teachers
adequately
over the years so that they didn't have to run? Because I can tell you, many of these teachers that run did not want to leave Jamaica. Subject themselves to what they are subjecting themselves to in the classroom.
You hear what I said to you? Many of them, they never knew what they were coming into at all. They weren't even, some of them weren't even interested to do any research, but because of the poor treatment out there and the poor salary and the poor working conditions, because working conditions too, that's a factor. And another factor is the poor leadership in some of the schools. The way our administration talks down to the people, the teachers in the schools, and victimize some of them in the schools. As you don't agree with a school administrator on a particular point, teachers feel that they are, and I'm telling you these stories because people tell me these things. Sometimes it might be true, sometimes it might be conceived by the teacher, but these are the stories that teachers tell. They tell you about how their administrator turn them off completely and they want to leave because of this administrator. They tell you that all the time. They tell you that because of the poor salary and they can't see any way out. You can imagine, Dennis, you're getting 80,000 to take home and you're paying 13,000 for toll alone. Gas no start buy yet for your car.
Lunch and night.
You pay 40,000 out of that for rent, or 50,000 for rent.
Lunch night. Yeah. And lunch and night.
And all I am saying, and I've said it to them before, cut up. Give a teacher. You see all that toll business. You could work out an easy pass for the teachers then. You could work out. So you say if it's $300, we work out one easy pass and make them only pay $80 or $90 or $100.
We'll wrap up in a 2 minutes. Sir Speed. Petra want to know if you're still involved in the JTA, and I would assume no. And she said they did not want to. The teacher, basically, she said the teachers did not want to leave.
Many of the teachers never want to. I'm not involved in the JTA to any degree. All of what you see happening there, and I must touch the point to Dennis before you cut off, because we see that you see, people are so aggrieved by the handling of the matter, the last round of negotiation, that the president at the time walked out of the signing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And the president now, this month, the president now took JTA to court over its handling of that matter, you know.
Wow.
So you understand that people are aggrieved. The president, I'm sure, didn't just take it upon herself to take JTA to court, you know, because she must have been having dialogue with the members. And out of those concerns that the members put forward, she decided to take it upon herself to take them to court. I can't tell you whether she's right or she's wrong. I'm not into that. But I'm just telling you that people are so aggrieved by the way they see the negotiations went that they will do anything, and people are continuing to move. I looked at some lists of vacancies in the schools for September. Long list. But guess what? I'm putting the people on guard. Everybody who is watching this, I'm putting you on guard to listen out for the back to school speech by the minister, because she's going to come again like she has always done for the past 3 years. When I was telling her that thousands of teachers are leaving each year for about 4 or 5 years now, she said everything was okay. Every back to school, she came back and she said it's okay, it's normal for people to resign. But I was telling them that thousands of people were leaving. This year, the minister would not be in a position yet to know how many resigned this year.
Wow.
But now she is calling, now the ministry, the spokesperson for the ministry is calling out now to say they're going to import foreign teachers, which means that they knew from last year that there was a chronic problem. But last year they came out in the back to school speech, the minister came out and said things were normal and everything was all right. So they are hiding the truth from the people.
Yeah.
And that's why many of them will never ever enjoy listening to me, because I speak the truth and I have the interest of the poor children more than everybody else at heart. But I also know that if you treat the teachers well, then things will be better for the children. Because the teacher's working condition is the children's learning condition.
Teachers' working condition. You have been in, even though we should have end now, but you have been into the classroom for over 30 years, as you had indicated earlier. When you said teachers' working condition, what exactly are you talking about?
All right. Compare the classrooms in Jamaica. Many of the schools, and I'm telling you, including high school, I've gone to even at least a few high schools, and see they have blackboard partitioning the classroom, separating classrooms. Blackboard. Blackboard. So you see when this teacher you see when this teacher over this side of the blackboard teaching, the next one over there have to be quiet, because the two of them can't go at it at the same time. Because I'm in a one room and it's only the blackboard partition. The blackboard don't go all the way up to the ceiling. So just imagine when this class over here start make noise. The next teacher over this side has to teach on shift. Some of the teachers lose them voice. Not only because of how high they have to raise the voice, but also because of the chalk dust that they use. God bless some of the principals now, because they find ways of putting in whiteboards now in many schools, but you still have schools that are still using the chalk.
So the victim in all this then would have been, well, would have said the student, but it would be the student and the teacher.
Exactly. The teachers said to me, we don't have a fan in the classroom. And you see, when it touch months like April, May, June, teachers tell you that they have to carry extra rag to dry themselves, because they just keep sweating profusely. Because I went to a school in Clarendon one day, and when I went in, it was very hot out the outside, piping hot. The sun was blazing. And when I stepped into the classroom, I started wondering if outside hotter than inside or which one of them hotter.
You know, I get that idea. I get that idea from what you're saying. I think if I make it to Jamaica to hand over these bags, I want to meet all these teachers that are receiving these bags. I want to meet at the schools because I'm giving it to the principals. Meet at the school and videotape these schools to see and listen some of the condition, put it on tape that they have to work through. I think that would have been beneficial to the give put the diaspora in the know of what the condition of which they are working in, or you think that it has improved?
If you look at even how the buildings are constructed, some of them are constructed when it rains, the water blows in. You can just imagine the storm and when the breeze blow the thing through those windows. Because some of them just have concrete kind of thing or louvers, and the louvers, the blades are missing in many schools. Blades are missing and missing for years. You don't have a system in Jamaica where, and so the blades are missing, which means you are exposed to dust when it is dry time. And if the wind start blows in the water, and so you're exposed to all of those kinds of things. I'm saying you don't have a system in Jamaica, the ministry, where they do needs assessment and they have officers who come around to the school and say that this wants to be repaired. The light bulbs is another crisis. Many teachers are going half blind because in their classroom it's poorly lit. I'm telling you, poorly lit. Bulbs, simple something as a bulb, as bulbs for the classroom. You might have one in there, but you have 40 children in the one room. And so that these are some of the things that the people feel. Some people migrate to the America. When they come to America, at least, and I'm not digging up any system, I'm just talking the facts. At least when you go to the American classroom, there's AC unit in it, and in cold time there's the heater thing that they turn on.
One final question. Let me ask you, we're going to wrap up right now. Let me ask you this, Mr. Speed. Per class, per teacher in a primary school, how much student is what is the standard that the government are set per for the classroom per teacher? How much students should they have?
At one time they said that in the high schools it should be 1 to 25. And they said that in the primary school, because the kids are smaller, I think it was 1 to 35. But we don't have, many teachers don't have such luxuries. The high schools are overcrowded. Sometimes no fan. You remember the boy who did the video of the broken fan in the classroom, the one fan that was in there and it's broken, and they suspended the youngster. You see that? So I'm just telling those classes, those classrooms are housing 40 plus kids. And they tell you that it should be 1 to 25. But nothing like that happens. You might have some deep rural schools, primary schools, that don't have that ratio. Because they might have only 15. Some schools, deep rural schools, might only have 40 and 50 and 60 children in the entire school. So in those schools they might have, but then there's another problem to that where they group 2 classes, 2 grade levels. I'm putting 1 because you only have 5 in grade 3 and 6 in grade 4. So they might group grade 3 and 4, and you know as a teacher, we'll have to go plan lesson for grade 3 children and grade 2 children, grade 4 children. So anyway you go Makajuku, even if the number is smaller in those schools, there's another issue of planning and so on. And for years I've been telling them, implement a lesson plan bank so that the teachers can go there, download lessons so that they don't have to sit up all weekend, every evening to be writing lesson plan, because that's what teachers in Jamaica do. They don't have any weekends. They have to be writing lesson plans Saturday, Sunday. Monday evening, whatever, to finish it, to submit it by Tuesday morning, the latest. Some schools want it Monday morning, and I've been saying to the ministry, establish a lesson plan bank so that the teachers can go there and don't have to start from scratch and make life easier for them. Things like those would many teachers run because of lesson plan, you know. The way how they want it in Jamaica, you know, people mark up in your lesson plan. When you do lesson plan in Jamaica in some schools, you know, the vice principal or the person who is marking senior teacher mark reading and thing in the lesson plan and those things and frustrate some of my teachers. You know? So people don't like these things, and sometimes they run from these little things where you think are simple things. These are some of the push factors. And I've been saying to them from 2019, 2020, establish, let us work together with the JTA, because we have the teachers, we can get the teachers who can write good lesson plans to submit them and so on. The ministry just fell asleep on that. But if we had that system, many teachers would feel more comfortable and feel more relaxed. And at least they could enjoy them family time and then weekend and so on. So it's working conditions we're talking about. So it's not only the salary why teachers move and migrate, but also the working conditions.
But let me ask you this though. It has been rumored, and we should anchor and see if the rest next week. But anyways, we're running. It has been rumored here in the US that our students in Jamaica, when they migrate to the States, after being educated in Jamaica, when they come here, they're more advanced. How could that be when they have all those negative attributes to the environment under which they attend?
You know that adversities make people tougher. The people who used to come out and are resilient people, they always have a story of some hardship that they faced before. Just remember that. Every great man has a story of some kind of struggle or hardship. So the conditions under which those children used to perform and were expected to perform, expectation is a big factor in that. The parents, the children know that the parents expect them to perform. The kids, many of the kids in America, they know that their parents, to them, it doesn't matter. And I'm saying that seriously now. Many kids come to school in America and they come because it's another place for socializations, for social events and meeting other people and talking and giving problems and all that kind of thing. Jamaican parents start to instill in their kids from a very young age the importance of performing when you go to school. So that carries forward with them, and the attitude determines your altitude in life.
Right.
But it's not universal though, because children who come from Jamaica as well, they come to the US and some of them struggle. The fact of the matter though is that with all of that toughness that our kids develop in Jamaica, when they come to America and they see resources in front of them, like every youngster has a Chromebook, a laptop in America. A youngster who is used to that toughness and develops that mental toughness and now comes over now to see a laptop in front of him and can manipulate these things and work with it, must do better than the kids who are grown up on a different level.
Yeah, with the luxury that they put. Well, Sir Speed, I think this conversation of school and classroom will continue next week. Reasons being, we are doing this backpack drive. We are very much concerned about what is going on right now with the students and the teacher and what they're going to face come September morning. So next week it will be part 2 of this discussion. I must say thank you though for stopping by and sharing these vital information with us as it relates to what's going on in the challenges that our teachers are facing. I would also like to talk to somebody that come from the police force, because I think the police, the migration of law enforcement is very high too. So I'm gonna probably invite somebody. If you know of anyone that can share that with us, we share our platform with us and give us some
I think
information.
I think you had Ron James what before.
Yeah, I have Ron James, and he I spoke to him last week. He's willing to come anytime, but at
Okay.
the same time, I am not too sure of how if he's muzzled in any way, shape, or form, given given his situation. So I don't
Okay.
know to what extent he can
Okay.
talk. But I will have a discussion with him sometime this week and see if he could offer some insight on that. But
Okay.
again, sir, thank you. And guys, I'm asking you please to just like share more anything else. Like and share more anything else. The 1,000 backpack drive that we have, that we want to issue to the schools that are mostly affected in the rural parts of the three parishes, which is Manchester, St. Elizabeth, and Clarendon. The numbers are scrolling on the screen. I'm asking you guys just to please contribute to this. There is a need. There is a need. And you won't be a short of transparency as it relates to how your money being spent. Right as we speak now, we have at least 200 bags and school supplies ready to go to Jamaica. But we need more. We also need shipping and clearing, transportation. We need a lot more. We have a far way to go. So I'm begging you guys to have up on board. If even $10, just come in and offer us your support. I even ship back to the number that is there. Tell a thing. You could go on Facebook, you could find the GoFundMe page to just use up the thing and make the thing happen. Let us execute this important mission because those families in that area, the shop roof blower, the fishing village and suffer, the farm product are damaged and gone, all of that. The roof gone off of them house, one whole heap of something, one whole heap of people's not work anymore. Going back to school is gonna be a struggle this year than any other year in Jamaica, any other school year in Jamaica. Please, guys, come out and be a part of this great movement. Richard and the crew, Gracie and everybody else. Thank you guys for stopping by. Much love. Sir Speed, we're gonna do this
Blessings.
together.
Blessings. Blessings. Blessings.
One love,
And
one love. Take care, guys.